Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. We're gonna start with the daily here where we are looking at Bitcoin, our bull run toward the upside, where very likely that we have topped a wave 1 over there after 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5 finished of course around the 107 or 110k I would say. And everything else we saw of course as higher prices was simply of course an expanding flat here in an A, a B, and a C high probability, of course, and that we are looking for lower right now as a potential, of course, a bear market in a wave 2 and then moving toward the upside. Basically, right now the price is still, of course, ranging inside this blue channel, could not leave it, and even in the top could not leave the base channel, of course, as a signal of weakness here for Bitcoin, where it has finished up here as a 3 waves upward. Of course, after 3 waves down, we're looking for 5 waves, of course, for a wave C expanding flat to hit, of course, around the 70k for Bitcoin. Currently, we see also 5 waves downward, where we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, which is unfolding potentially here a wave 2, and then moving downward. This is the first scenario. The second scenario is a triple 1, 2s, and this wave 2 is still working perfectly as a 1, 2 here for triple 1, 2s, and moving very aggressively downward can be very likely and possible. Now, if we move a little bit inside it, we can see, of course, on the 2 hours chart here, we can see that Bitcoin is still ranging inside, of course, or under the 886, which is, of course, the confirmation for higher only if taken, but this was not taken yet. And, of course, we start to see a drop downward here in case, of course, of kind of a corrective wave finished here as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as expected in our blue zone here, which is our testing area for a wave 2 as of course a wave 1, A, B, C, wave 2, and then dropping down. And obviously that this is working of course as 5 waves ending diagonal for a wave C probably, and you see of course an impulse downward unfolding right now where you are looking here at 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, which means of course a very likely scenario for a massive impulse downward that it might start to unfold for Bitcoin, guys. So we gotta be careful. And what I mean with this, of course, on the daily with the labeling is your bearish scenario over there, where you have, of course, a wave A here. This is your top wave 1, and you have an A, B, and a C toward the downside. This is your wave C unfolding, of course, 67, 73k for Bitcoin, and A, B, and a C expanding flat. Now, as you can see, of course, the probability is very high for triple 1, 2s, where we might get an aggressive wave 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, of course, to finish up with this downtrend and then start a new bull run towards the 200k is one of the most beautiful bear market that you might see for Bitcoin, because you got, of course, during this bear market, a chance, of course, for higher prices, new highs even. And of course, you're gonna have only one single drop toward the downside, which it might be aggressive a little bit towards the 70k, which I call it, of course, a perfect opportunity for Bitcoin, because I believe that you cannot expect Bitcoin to move below 50k anymore. It's kind of like a dream to have this basically for Bitcoin right now. And I think, of course, it is very far from this possibility. Therefore, 67k is very likely, which is the most common target for a wave C, and then we might start a new bull run towards the 200k from there. Another possible scenario, of course, to not be always bearish just in one direction. Of course, you have possibility for highers here in case you have an A, B, C toward the upside still unfolding for higher prices. The wave C can be, of course, here an ending diagonal, especially that you hit the wave 2 here, perfect fib levels, and you might be, of course, in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Or, of course, in case you are very bullish, you can consider this probably as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even bullish, but yeah, very far possibility, guys. Another possibility is, of course, the ending diagonal, the big ending bullish diagonal here, where you might have, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, a potential, of course, a finished wave 1 in an ending diagonal. And you might have here another potential. You can probably consider this even as ending diagonal 5 ways, as a wave 3, because we need 5 waves because this is impulsive, and you're seeking, of course, for one more single wave, meaning what we are looking at right now, what if it is an A, B, and a C? And in case, of course, this diagonal is your wave A, you got your wave B, and you might, of course, move for the wave C downward here between the blue box, and from there you're gonna finish up, of course, a potential wave 4 and a 5. So this is a possibility here. Now, of course, the label that you are looking at here was considered for 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, but this is very impossible right now since we took the invalidation. As you can see, the price took the invalidation of any bullish scenario here that it might be unfolding. So, I mean, any bullish as impulse, this is what I mean. But the only possible scenario left is the ending diagonal. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna use this label and remove it actually, because we don't need it anymore. It's impossible, and place it exactly there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 in this form. Yep, here we go. So in this case, okay, if that happens, therefore you have to consider wave 5 here, wave 4 might be there, but you still need 3 waves for your wave 4. And this might be the situation, of course, where you have an A, B, and a C, you finish wave 4, and then you move towards the upside. So these are the main possibility. Now in priority, of course, we have the bearish scenario, guys. We have to be careful in priority until invalidation in the testing area, which is, of course, the next one here, around the 100K, 103K, and 100K. We have to retest this area and to see the potential, of course, of a zigzag even. Yeah. So this area is uncommon, as you can see, 102K as well. Yeah, so it's very, very uncommon. So we have to test, of course, an ABC here in case we move toward the upside. We should not, of course, blindly be bearish as well. That was it for Bitcoin. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.